I wanted to ask you what you felt like was the most challenging aspect of growing a chemistry with Caleb, seeing as though, you guys didn't get a preseason with exhibition games and that kind of stuff to maybe work out some of the kinks before you started playing.
I think it's just more of I feel like me and him complement each other well. Obviously, we're both freshmen, so there's a lot to learn. Especially the way Coach Roy wants us to play. I feel like we're doing a good job, but we could do a better job as far as taking care of the ball, shot selection, getting our teammates involved. But I think it's still early in the season, so there's a lot of time to improve and fix our mistakes because we have a long way to go, and we just want to win. So
And if you could take me back to high school for a second in your personal journey, initially you weren't really ranked in that high and weren't on a lot of people's radars, and then you were able to make a move and kind of jump. What would you point to as being maybe the most, what you saw as the most critical point in your career that kind of got different D1 schools, including Carolina, to take a closer look at what you were doing?
I think it was how hard I played, especially at my size. I'm a little undersized, so I know I have to, play with a big heart, and I think that's what I do as far as both ends of the floor, not just on offense but on defense. I think for me, I have to be a leader, so that's what I also been improving throughout my years, is just being more vocal, on and off the court, and I think that's what Coach Roy and the rest of the coaching staff took notice. My ability to score the ball, my ability to bring energy, and just overall win.
Thank you.
Greg Barnes, then Brendan.
Hey, RJ, kind of along the same lines as CL's first question. What did you learn from the 3 games in 3 days in Asheville, and what can you take from that experience?
And I've learned a lot. We played great competition this past weekend. I've learned, there's 3 things I have to work on, which is, the assist to turnover ratio. We have to do a better job at that. As point guards, limit our turnovers and, get the ball inside and knowing, what's good and it was bad shots. I feel like, there's a couple of times where, I took some bad shots. Um, which could have been a better, shot selection either for myself or for my teammate. And just overall, like moving on offense, not staying too stagnant, setting screens for one another, cut without the ball. So it was overall, it was a good experience. I felt like, it was a good learning experience. Um, Obviously, the last game didn't go as the way we wanted, but I feel like, we kind of needed that just to, learn from it and then, build off from that moving forward.
Thank you.
Brendan, then Aaron Beard.
Hey, RJ, I appreciate you taking the time to do this. I wanted to ask, I know that Joe Toussaint's sort of from a similar area as you are in New York. What's the relationship like between you guys, and have you been talking at all this week or in the days leading up to the game against Iowa?
Me and Joe, we've actually been competing since my freshman year in high school because we played in the same Catholic league. So it's always been like a competitive nature, but it's always love off the court. It's kind of like a supportive brother relationship we have. Uh, but obviously, when we get on the court, it's all about competition and whatnot. But we haven't discussed anything about the game or anything. I think we're both just focused on each other's teams and coming out with a win.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Aaron Beard, then Isaac Shad.
Hey, RJ, Aaron Beard with the Associated Press. I'm curious, we asked you guys about not having fans the first game, and it was a different experience. Now you've done it 4 times now, not having fans, crowd noise. I'm curious if you think it affects much of anything. I guess guys may be used to this kind of thing with AAU. Do you hear more communication from the other team on the court? Is it a different dynamic with energy? What has it been like after 4 games?
I mean, it's definitely been a weird experience, especially like when we first start off with the first game, just to not hear, the crowd and the crowd getting into it. But I definitely think it allows your teammates to communicate more. It's been an adjustment, but it's just basketball, with or without fans. I feel like, the competition level is like raised higher because, there's not too much distractions. And I feel like, we're doing a good job of, competing. But I think we just need to compete a little bit more. Uh, but yeah, I mean, it's been a weird experience, but I think we handled it pretty well.
Isaac Shad, then Ross Martin.
RJ, thanks for your time today, man. I'm curious. I know, as Aaron just asked about this, isn't going to be a typical road environment, but I'm curious what the upperclassmen have told you about going to play on the road for the first time in your career.
Just bring your game with you. That's been like the main message, especially on the road. Just bring your game with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
Ross Martin, then Adam Smith.
Hey, RJ, I know this is unlike any other year, but what have your general takeaways been about just playing for UNC basketball and being part of such a high-profile program? Is there anything that kind of stood out that's kind of been like, wow, I'm really here and really playing at this level?
I mean, I'm just blessed to be here. I just want to thank God and my family and the coaches for taking notice and believing in me. It's been a great experience just to play with North Carolina on my chest in the front of my jersey. Something, I've always looked forward to just for, college basketball in general. I always dreamed about playing D1 basketball just for me to be here, especially, one of the top schools in the country and its background history. It's amazing. And I've just learned a lot so far of being here. I'm happy to be here. I'm just winning, hopefully, looking forward to win as long as we keep playing.
Adam Smith, then Andrew Jones.
Hey RJ, was curious. The way the Texas game ended with you defending Coleman there in the final seconds. Have you gone back and looked at that and maybe, I don't know, taken some notes of what you might want to do differently? Did you think you played it pretty well? Just what have you thought as you've gone back and maybe assessed just that moment and how you defended that situation?
I mean, I watched a lot of film. We've been watching a lot of film, especially the last game. Just to, some key takeaways and just going over what we did right, what we did wrong. Takeaways from the first half to the second half. The last couple seconds of the game. I feel like I did a good job of playing Matt Coleman. I know he did. He did the same move twice in a row. One he made it both contested jump shots. I feel like I did a good job, staying my ground. Didn't want to jump because I knew he would have jumped into me, would have caused a foul. So I feel like I did a pretty good job of playing him. It was a tough shot. It was well contested. So yeah.
Andrew Jones.
After seeing the film of those 3 games, when you look back at last week, what are a couple of things that you did that you really feel good about personally?
I just feel like I did a good job of, bringing energy. Obviously my shot wasn't falling last game, but I also did a couple of other things that, helped my team. We saw Garrison was hot. We got the ball to him. Played, as tough defense as I could. And it's just basically I'm just learning to push the ball faster at a faster pace. So I feel like, it was a good weekend for me. Could have been better, but this is where you learn from. You take, your mistakes and then you adjust to them.